Now we're going to deal with Bonaventura Berlinghieri. And he's one of the leading artists of something known as the Italo-Byzantine style. Now, what you need to understand from a historical perspective in terms of painting is after the fall of Constantinople in 1204, there's a migration of Byzantine artists to Italy, which had a strong influence on very early Italian Renaissance art. And so the Italo-Byzantine style is this use of the Byzantine style in Italy after 1204. The characteristic features are a gold background, which gives a sense of divinity and spirituality. This is not simply a mother and child, this is the mother and child. We see shallow space, so there's nothing in the background to invite us into the piece. And we see flattened figures that lack a sense of the illusion of three-dimensionality. The piece we're actually looking at, though, is known as the Saint Francis Altarpiece. Now, this is tempera on wood. Tempera is pigment mixed with egg, oftentimes with honey, and it reacts very similar to acrylic paints today. And what we see is flanking the saint, are two angels in a frontal pose with predominant halos and a lack of modeling which reveals the artist's Byzantine roots. So too does the gilding, which emphasizes the image's flatness and spiritual nature. It again tells us this is not just a man in a robe, but this is a particularly religious person. This is a religious scene. Now, when we look at the scenes on the sides, they provide an active contrast to the stiffness of our central figure. This work also highlights the increasing prominence of religious orders in late medieval Italy. In this case, the work was meant to impress upon the public the saint's valuable example and demonstrate the order's commitment to teaching and alleviating suffering. In today's terms, we would refer to this as marketing. This is also the earliest known painting of the saint, created a mere 9 years after Francis's death. The work also attempted to attach the saint to Christ by recreating 4 miracles for which he is credited among the 6 narratives. So we get this idea of a piece of propaganda or a piece of marketing where the artist is trying to give us the idea that this saint is worth following. He's basically pushing the idea of joining the Franciscan monastic order. Makes a lot of sense. If you're a new order, you need to get the word out there. First of all, that you exist, and secondly, who are you? What do you do? Who's the person who founds this, or who's the basis of it? And that's what we're seeing here from Berlinghieri.